Okay, here's Deb's handy dandy guide to hand washing fine washables. Anything from store-bought cashmere sweaters to delicate lingerie to hand-woven textiles to hand knitted or hand crocheted garments. I do this a lot because I have, I'm going to say at least, uh, well, over the years, I have probably made several hundred sweaters because I've been knitting for 40 years. And it is important to remove the oils from your skin around the neck of a sweater. And probably most of us benefit from a little cleaning in the armpit area. So, washing sweaters is something I do constantly. Whenever I can, by the way, if it's not a summer top, I wear a very light kind of an undershirt under the sweater so that I don't have to wash it that often unless I, dribble food all over myself. Uh, but when I do have to wash it, and I should, every season take the sweaters that I won't wear again for another few months and wash them all in this way. I should do this. It would be smart to do. I am just too lazy. But in years when I have had the energy and made the effort to do that, this is how I did it. So you don't need much equipment. I've got a dishwashing basin and my gallon jug of Eucalan wool wash. Yes, here it is. It's a gallon. Um, and a bath towel, just an old bath towel. And that's all it's going to take. So I have filled the basin about halfway full with cool water, not hot, not cold, just cool, lukewarm. Uh, the reason is temperature change in water and agitation will felt most wool and wool blend yarns. And so you can use that to your advantage when you want it, but when you don't want it, there's no way to undo it. So I am using lukewarm water here. So because I'm just doing one sweater in this batch, I'm using this size of basin. If I want to do a bunch at a time, I actually get out my dog washing basin that comes with its own little plug and a little tray to filter out hair and other particles. But that's way more than I need right now. I can get at least two, especially smaller sweaters in a tub this size. I'm a little person, and my clothes tend to be correspondingly small. This is not a big sweater. It's I think a wool and linen blend. It's not big. Um, if you're a bigger person or you like bigger things, get the dog washing tub and thank me later. It's one of the best investments you can make. Uh, Notice too how one of its features is you can collapse it down. I actually never do because I use it so often. But I've also seen dish tubs like this, and I've got two of those that collapse down if you're light on storage space. So I've got this basin filled about halfway, and I'm going to measure out just about a capful of the wool wash and just swish it around in the water. What you want to do is distribute it within the water. And then I'm just submerging the sweater without twisting it, without wringing it, without doing anything but patting it down so that it sits under the water. And you can see the little bubbly things happening on top. And now I'm just going to set a timer and let it sit for 30 minutes. My sweater's been soaking for 30 minutes now, and it's time to take it out of its basin. Before I do anything else, and this is really important, ask me how I know, I have set an old bath towel next to the sink and actually hanging over the sink because even after I squeeze some of the water out of this garment, it's still going to drip. And I don't want to make a mess all over my countertops. Okay, so I'm going to remove some water just by squeezing. Notice how I'm supporting the garment. I've not twisted it, I'm not wringing it, but I've picked it up in a little ball, like a ball of bread dough or pizza dough, and I'm supporting it from underneath, and I'm just squeezing to squeeze out the most drippy water, which is to say the water that comes out most easily. Then I'm going to lay it on the towel. And I'm actually going to lay it fairly flat-ish on the towel. If this were a bigger garment, I would have completely unfolded this towel. This is not a huge garment because it's made for little old me. And I'm just laying it flat. That's all you really need to do. You zoom out a little bit more so you can see. And then I'm just making it into a burrito or jelly roll, just rolling it. So this rolled up towel will absorb the water. I'm going to let it sit for at least an hour. It can sit like this overnight. It can even sit like this for, I don't know, a couple of days if necessary. Though you don't want your hand knits to get, I don't know, mildewy or moldy. So it's best to not leave it rolled up in a towel forever. So after an hour, the towel will have absorbed about as much water out of this as it can possibly hold. And I will end up with a damp towel and a damp but not dripping sweater. And at this point, I can lay it flat on a surface to dry. If I didn't have cats, I might get a fresh towel, a dry towel from my collection, and just lay it across the top of my washing machine or my dryer and lay out the sweater flat to dry. This is really important. I've learned the hard way that you don't want, for instance, to just lay it over a shower curtain because the shape of the shower curtain rod, sorry, hang it over a shower curtain like you would a towel, the shape of the shower curtain rod will form a ridge in the garment, and that is not cool. That is not desirable. You can get these wonderful hanging racks that can help you lay things out flat if you do have cats. Let me show you. So this hanging rack hangs on the shower curtain rod, but it provides three flat surfaces so I can get and unfortunately, this one it seems to be of a lesser quality than a similar one I've got that hangs on the door of my bathroom when I need it, but I don't leave it up there all the time. This I just leave up all the time because this is my dye studio bathroom. So the top layer doesn't actually hold something as heavy as a sweater very well. The layer collapses, but the bottom two layers, I can put a sweater, or skeins of yarn, hand spun yarn that need to dry. And because I have taken most of the water out of the garment with that towel, it doesn't drip and it will dry in, if it's a wool or a wool blend, usually overnight. If it's cotton, it might take 2 days. It depends on how heavy the yarn is and what it's made of. I want to point out one other little thing. If you do a ton of hand washing like I do, it is worth investing in a little gizmo like this, which is called the Ninja, the Laundry Ninja. It's essentially the spin cycle of a washing machine. And I heard about this from a dyer at Knits All Done, wonderful dyer. You basically pack the things that are wet, dripping wet, inside the drum of this little guy, close the lid, and it just spins out the water. It's like a giant salad spinner that's electrified. And when I've washed a bunch of sweaters or a bunch set the twist on a bunch of hand spun yarn, I use my Ninja, and that stuff is dry in seriously a couple of hours, definitely overnight, because this little guy spins out all the water. So this dyer uses it because he's got tubs and tubs and tubs of wet hand-dyed yarn to dry. Makes sense. I, on the other hand, have dozens and dozens of hand-knitted sweaters or tons of hand-spun yarn to get the water out of. So this is the way I do it.